The presidential address to Parliament, the joint sitting of Parliament by the Indian President Draupadi Murmu. We have with us senior journalist Ashok Tandon to throw light on this. Thank you very much, Mr. Tandon. So the President said that India alone is contributing about 15%, to the world's growth. And the President also said that the pace of reforms are now going to be further accelerated. So how do you view this signal to Indian entrepreneurs?
No, first of all, let me say that this is the President's first address to the joint session of Parliament after the general elections and Prime Minister Modi's third term as Prime Minister. So it was a very solemn occasion, and I think there was absolutely no disturbance from the opposition as was anticipated in a section of the media. So first of all, it's a very convention when the President addresses both houses of Parliament in the inaugural session. The President's the speech is written by the Cabinet.
Yes.
So obviously, the presidential address lauds all the achievements of the government over the last 10 years and also outlines the roadmap for the next 5 years while the government will be in office. So in that context, I think the very important feature of today's address to the joint session was a mention of the Black Day of Emergency, literally on the eve of 50th year. So that has not been liked by the opposition, but I think it was a necessary step on the part of the President to record it as the new Parliament, particularly the Lok Sabha, comes into the force. Now, having said that, most of the achievements which the President put before the joint session have already been discussed threadbare in the last session of Parliament, the President's address also. But certainly the roadmap which the President has outlined today is about the economic development.
Yes.
As 10 years of Modi government have taken a leap forward. Now the government in the third term is going to concentrate on the economic reforms and economic development and the progress which India has made. So India is already become fifth largest economy. Now the target is to make it the third largest economy. So all the economic parameters of this government have been, taken into account in this address, apart from certain political issues and also achievements of the government and the schemes which the government have already launched. The schemes are to be carried forward. There is no let up in maintaining and carrying forward all existing schemes of the government for emancipation of the downtrodden, for the poor, for deprived section, for Adivasis, for Dalit and women emancipation. So all these things as a package which the President outlined today.
Indeed, Mr. Tandon, but of course the large emphasis of the entire speech, apart from what you mentioned, which were important political statements, but also the economic direction that the government is going to focus on in the next 5 years, taking forward the reforms of the last 10 years. But the President talked also about healthy competition among the states. And that should attract investors. This is a concept that the Prime Minister brought out when he first came in, which is called cooperative federalism. And, she also talked about the continuous efforts of reducing costs of logistics. She highlighted all India's strengths in information technology, tourism, health to wellness. These are all sound signals for foreign investors, even Indian investors, to come and invest in India.
No, it's... let me say that, the entire address, was in a way continuation of the government policies. As if it's not that the government has come to power for the first time. So it's the third term and continuation of all the policies, whether they are economic policies, whether they are social policies or economic reform, all these things. See, the continuity of the government policy was the hallmark of today's address.
Indeed. If we look at, some of the important aspects that because one of the areas that has political significance also is the agriculture sector. And she did announce, that there was a record increase in MSP for Kharif crops. She also talked about 3,20,000 crore rupees. That works out about $40 billion for our international viewers, which have been given already to farmers in form of security under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. She also talked about the International Year of Millets. So how do you look at this emphasis in terms of the, politically also on the agriculture sector?
Yeah, no, as I said earlier, all the sectors, including agriculture sector, there has been a lot of emphasis of the outgoing Modi government on the, upliftment and of the farmers, particularly the farm sector. So even the very first decision which the government took was related to agriculture as well as to housing. So basically, I would like to come back again on the issue of reference to the emergency, because the opposition has been attacking the government that if they come to power again, they will, derail the constitution or, withdraw the reservation, etc. So this emphasis not only that there will be no alteration, no change in the constitution, but at the same time reminding the opposition that what they did, their party did while imposing emergency. So this message was very important, very necessary also, and that is why there was a focus on it.
Okay, so you talk about the importance of the message on the emergency, which the President did raise. Also, the Prime Minister did raise it earlier today, earlier in the last few days as well. But, we look also at the President urging the parliamentarians, they've just taken office, they've just taken their oaths to function smoothly. She also talked about, the whole system is going to develop if you function smoothly. We've seen that, we've had a lot of disruptions in Parliament over the last 10 years. Do you see this this particular round, of the 18th Lok Sabha being a lot more? You did mention the President's address went out without disturbances. Do you see that everyone's taking this more seriously?
Of course, that the President has been mentioning in her earlier addresses also, that there should not be any disruptions and there should be smooth functioning of Parliament, and for that the responsibility is of not only of the ruling party but as well as the opposition as well. So that point I think was made very loud and clear, and it has gone well, because today it was a very orderly address and there were no disruption or even slogan shouting or anything, which a section of the media was saying that perhaps they may disrupt the joint session of Parliament.
Also, Mr. Tandon, the President, as she concluded, she was talking about, this being India's century, India's era, and how its impact is going to last for the next 1,000 years. How do you see this? And also this message to fellow Indian citizens that, the time for India has arrived, and India is the nation. You mentioned really at the start also it's the fastest growing nation, but also the importance that India is contributing in a large way to global growth.
Certainly. The President also made a very specific mention of the green energy, which she says is a priority and is one of the fast growing country, India, in this field. So the government is also focused on developing the Northeast. This was also an important one. And then she outlined the historic level of investment in infrastructure. Metro rail services have been expanded in several cities in the country. 3.8 lakh kilometer roads have been constructed in India up to the rural road scheme. So they went on listing India's, India made digital infrastructure a topmost priority. India has also, poverty alleviation has also been a top priority. A free ration scheme is being provided to 80 crore people. Under the Ayushman Bharat, over 55 crore people have been provided free health care. And today India is contributing to 15% of the global economy. Under India's leadership, the entire world has seen the International Year of Millet being celebrated. So like that. So I think even in the aviation sector, the President highlighted the achievements of India. The Yoga Day was also mentioned. So third largest aviation market in the world. So I think the President's highlight was not only in the context of what India has achieved, what India aims to achieve in the next 5 years, and that roadmap was also outlined by the President.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Tandon, senior journalist. Thank you for putting that into perspective for us. Now, India has retained its leading